In her 59 days since President Biden's exit from the campaign, Vice President Harris has not held a single formal press conference or a solo interview with a national TV network. Voters say they want more from her, and journalists need to be given the opportunity to challenge her stance on critical issues. Now, the Harris-Walz ticket won't give specifics on policy, but we do know their record. They just don't seem to want to talk about it. Watch how Governor Tim Walz addressed this question about sky-high inflation.
Let's start with inflation. What do you tell people who wake up, frankly, each morning wondering, how am I going to get by financially?
Yeah, I tell them that Kamala Harris and I know something about it, being middle-class folks. Our families sit at the table trying to pay the bill.
Okay, well, that vague response has somehow become the Harris campaign's go-to answer. Just watch. It's like pulling the string on the back of a doll.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. They can just get their foot in the door to be able to then engage in what will prove to be their opportunity to build intergenerational wealth. And here's my personal experience coming at that. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother was hardworking. She raised me and my sister Maya. She saved up, and it was only by the time I was a teenager that she could afford to actually buy her first home. And I know, and I identify with, I know where I come from.
Now, Kaylee, that seems to be lacking a policy explanation or an explanation at all of why her policies have changed, but it seems like she's good at memorizing the answers.
She's very good at the scripted talking point. You know, I have a news flash for Kamala Harris. I grew up a middle-class kid is not a plan to get us out of Bidenflation. The truth is there is no new policy. Bidenflation is Kamalaflation. Bidenomics is Kamalanomics. That is the truth. Otherwise, she would have given an hour-long policy speech at the Economic Club of New York like Donald Trump did. She did not. Voters are noticing. I think Trump can very likely prevail in this election, and here's why. I've noticed a trend. When you reach the bottom of the New York Times, the bottom of CNN, they actually talk to real voters. Here's what they say. New York Times, this is a part-time worker for a school bus company. She was wonderful in the debate, but he's a businessman, and I think he sees what's going on. A young black woman in Wisconsin, she wasn't going to vote. She says, I believe in his facts over her vision. You hop on over to CNN, guarantee you they don't want to publish this. Nikki Haley voter says Kamala Harris says she wants to lift up the middle class, but how? And finally, a retired police officer from Nevada. I've been checking her website. You read it. There are no specifics. The American people, I believe, are going to choose policy over platitudes. She has none. Her policy is Bidenomics.
The weird thing is, Harris, is that, look, she does have experience. She likes to remind us. So shouldn't that speak for itself? And why does she refuse to cite it or to explain why she's changed her mind on so many things? You know, she didn't just enter the scene. So why the dearth?
Well, you know, it's an interesting bifurcation that I see going on. She can either play dumb and say that she didn't have anything to do with the policies and that she has her own set, which is kind of what she's doing. She's saying, well, I've seen what we've been doing and I see a reason to make changes. Or she can take full responsibility and say, I was part of what we did, the border, so on and so forth, and I saw through our own failures what we need to do. Those are your only two options, because she was present for all of it, and she can't deny that. So either she was dumb or she was incompetent, rather. I think the choices are poor for her, but the truth is always valuable to the American people. She's got 48 days left. Which of the 48 days are we going to hear deep talk about her policies?
Yeah. And for a lot of Americans who think the answer is both of the two options that Harris provided, Tom, I mean, this is someone who's held a lot of these high caliber officers, but it seems like she can't even field a simple question asking her for any type of experience or facts whatsoever. It's like it's really a vacuous vessel.
Yes. And if you look at that local interview she did, that one was a disaster. The one, Republicans should just chop that up and put it all over the internet. But it's true. You look at her and you say, exactly. But you look at these interviews or lack of them and you say, I mean, she's not that bad. Why isn't she just getting out there and, giving it her best shot? The reason is it's a combination of her being not good at this, and the other part is that she's changed so many of her stances and that she doesn't want to reveal to the American people how far left she is. So she's got to balance those two things are both working against her. Ooh. Also, that this is the way Democrats want to run elections now. We all thought that Joe Biden was hiding in the basement because he was old. It's not. That's the way Democrats like to do it. Stay silent, We have now a month with early voting. We have a month to go vote collecting. You know, when you change from convincing the voter to vote collecting around Election Day, that is an actual election strategy. That's what they're doing. And so they would rather not convince people to just use that time and get out there on the street and get those early votes.
Yeah, but that figurehead strategy, Carly, seems so stale. You know, the talking points they have about check this box, that's so stale, that's so years ago, because right now Americans are suffering and they just want restoration to back what life was like under President Trump.
Yeah, and the clip of Kamala Harris saying the same things over and over again, it kind of reminds me of the montage clips of Joe Biden stumbles, because these things go viral on social media and they get millions of views. We all know that Kamala Harris is unburdened by what has been 100 times over, and now we're hearing a lot about her middle-class background and her mom. And I think that if you are a Democrat, you look at this and say, well, it's better than the off-the-cuff comments that get Donald Trump in trouble. And a Republican would respond and say, well, at least Donald Trump is his own person. Kamala Harris doesn't know who she is or what she stands for. But what matters the most is the undecided voter. And CNN has a headline that says Harris isn't giving the specifics some undecided voters say they want. And to that point, a New York Times Siena College poll just found that 28% of likely voters want to know more about Kamala Harris. Only 9% say that about Donald Trump. Elections are about giving people what they want. And right now, that is detail.
Look, we are on the eve potentially because the program runs out soon if Biden doesn't step in. If 43% of our ports close because of a huge strike and he could have stepped in, the high prices go up even higher, and that's right before an election. So who's on whose side on the left? Because his decision not to get involved and to stop that strike is certainly not going to help Kamala Harris. Of course, we won't hear her talk about it. But.
That's right. Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.